Hello, welcome in. So today I'm in a different group for me. I am in Cindy's Craft Sensation community event. My name is Tamara, aka T, and before me was Miss Grace from Grace Faithful Creations. And up after me is my sweet friend Miss Carla from Carla's Bayou Creations. Hello there, Miss Teri. So our hostesses are Miss Cindy from Cindy's Craft Sensations, and Miss Teri Lynn, who is here from Teri's Angels Crafting, and she was actually on earlier, and I saw her. She was working with some stencils, really cool. Thank you for the sprinkles, my friend. I appreciate that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna start working on something. I know I'm not gonna get it done. It's one of those projects that will not be done in an hour, and you know, it's just one that's gonna take me a bit. But I did mention that I was going to be coming on and doing it live. Hi there, Miss Michelle. Welcome in. Oh, it's gonna be Miss Michelle instead of Miss Carla. Okay, so I totally did not get that right in my description, so I am sorry about that. But Miss Michelle will be up after me then. So yes. Okay. Alright, well, let's get started. Like I said, the craft that I have in mind is going to take a bit of time, so it's gonna end up being one of those like multi lives ones, and hopefully that is okay. Hi there, Miss Grace. Your decor piece with the flag was just absolutely gorgeous as always. She does such beautiful work. If you guys missed her, please make sure you go back and see my friend Miss Grace and everybody else who was on today. So I'm gonna turn you down. Alright, so I do have a piece of chipboard here, and we're gonna go ahead and get it measured and all the things to work on a cover. So this is 8.5 by 11, which is the size of a piece of paper, which is good because usually what I like to use is I like to take my papers and I like to fold them in half. I usually end up having to cut a little bit of a border off of them, which is totally fine, and that way they'll fit inside. So with that being said, I do need this to be cut down down the middle, okay? You are quite welcome, my dear. So I am going to open this up. So, you know, we did say that it's at 11, so half of 11 would be 5.5. So I'm going to bring it at 5.5, and we're going to do our best to cut it. Again, this is chipboard, so you know, getting it with a paper trimmer like this does take a little bit of work. So I went through a few times, but you can see it's still kind of hanging there on a little bit, so we're just going to put it through again. And we'll measure it so that we can just cut the last little bit of it off. Okay, so this is going to be my front and my back cover. Okay, you can, now this is straight chipboard. You can use a cereal box, you can use a food box, you can use whatever you choose. There is no limit per se. Now I keep scraps in just this packaging piece, and so we're gonna see, I should have a piece of scrap here somewhere that would be the size that I would need for the spine. So I always keep, you know, my bits and pieces, and because you never know when you might need one. See, that one's too tall. That one's just right. I can cut that one down. Make sure I don't have any other piece in here that might work. No, they're all just itty bitty little pieces. I've recently used a bunch of my small pieces. Hey there, Creations, Crafty, how are you, dear? Thank you so much for being here. Oh, there we go. Perfect size. That's why I always double check, because I'm like, I always have like extra pieces. So, but see, perfect right there. And I don't even have to worry about cutting it. So, just so that we can double check, this is a 2-inch spine, and to me this is fine because what I am planning on creating, so a really good friend of mine is expecting, and she has a baby shower coming up next month, and my gift to her is going to be a memory album for her little one. So that is what I will be working on, and this is why I said it's gonna take a bit, because it's not one of those projects that can really get done you know, in that much amount of time that we have when we're in an event. Okay, now I am going to do something really special to the actual cover itself. So I am going to use just regular paper. Oh, thank you. So I am going to, you can use whatever paper you have. I just have this like excessively large envelope paper. So this was a what'd you call it? The mailing things that we use. And remember, one of the things that we love to do in journaling or album making is we do like to repurpose. So I kept this, and I was like, at some point I'm going to be able to use this. So, you know, it's just this really long piece that was mailed. It was mailed to me, and now I'm going to use it to help me start my cover. Well, hello there. How is my friend from across the pond? How are you doing, my dear? So yeah, so if you guys come back, you'll be watching me work on this, like I said, for a bit, because I mean, it's a project that's not going to be completed, you know, in one sit down. And I have been asked so many times about, you know, how do I start a journal? How do I, you know, so here we go. So we're gonna do it together, okay? So you can use whatever paper you have for the background, because at this point this really does not matter. Hi there, Miss Jeannie, how are you, dear? Okay, so let me see. I'm debating. I think I'm going to grab this paper right here. I'm going to use this one because this one has too much tape on it. I'm not happy with it. This one has a little bit of tape. It's not that bad. All good. I'm glad to hear that it's all good for you, dear. I'm glad to hear that. Alright, so again, this is just one of those manila, and, you know, big paper pouches that we would use to mail something in. That's just because I want one solid piece of paper. And I'm not worried about, how, you know, that this is yellow or anything like that, because it's going to get covered. So I'm not worried about that part, okay? Many times when I am making my covers, I am concerned about what paper I'm using. But in this case, I'm not, because this will be covered. Well, I'm glad that you find it interesting, my friend. Okay. Alright. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down. Okay. And for that... Why are you bubbling out here? This is, I swear, I do not understand this glue. Okay. So. And so this is just going to be my base for this journal, okay? This is going to be the base, the starting point for this journal. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect up and down and all those things. It really does not have to be perfect, because we'll see all of this, okay? It's all interesting to see how you do this. Oh. Well then, I hope that maybe somebody learns something. If you guys ever have any questions on, you know, doing a journal from start to finish or anything like that, you can always message me. I'm not an expert by no means. I will not ever call myself an expert in anything, but I think I got a little bit of a handle on it. And I am glad to help. I am teaching at a retreat. I'm hosting a retreat, and I'm teaching how to make my gate style journal, which is what it sounds like. It opens up like a gate would. So it's not your typical book album. Now, I am leaving a little bit of a larger gap than I probably normally would have because of what I plan to cover this with. So, the rule of thumb is that you want to at least leave the size of what your material is for it to fold. Alright, but, yes, I'm excited too. I'm super excited. I'm excited that you're going to be joining us, Miss Jenny. So, again, nothing too complicated here. And I'll be live again tomorrow, as I'm hosting my event tomorrow. And we'll be working on this again. Because, like I said, this is going to take some time. Do the hokey pokey. And turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Yay! So, hubby's asleep, but I actually am working on a tool to help with this and to help with the sewing portion, because I know that many times that this part is a little confusing. But he's asleep, and I am not yet very confident in using the laser. So when I can get him to help me, which probably won't be till either I have to catch him, if he doesn't have a bad night at work, I can catch him tomorrow morning to help me. But yeah, okay, so In the corners here, we are going to miter the corners, which means we're going to take off. You're just going to leave a little bit. Don't come right at the edge so that the edge is not completely exposed. And you're going to want to do it kind of like in a curve. Okay, kind of in a curve situation here. Now, could you have done this maybe with like a 12 by 12 or like 2 pieces of 12 by 12 or something? Yes, most definitely can. I just wanted one solid piece, which is why I decided to use this opened envelope, okay? Alright. Okay. Now, here we are going to take our bone folder, right? And we are going to push our paper up to the edge, okay? And we're going to glue it. And we're going to do this for all of the sides. Alright, every single side is going to get this treatment. Hi, Miss Julie. How are you, dear? Thank you for popping on. I appreciate it. Okay. Now, while that side dries, we're going to work on the opposite side. And again, this is just the base for this journal, okay? You know, if you could do this with wrapping paper and have it all covered up, really, really cute and pretty. And I am making sure that everything is going to be nice and tight and flat. And good straight edges, okay? Alright, now that that side is done, we're going to flip up and flip down. Alright, same thing, using my bone folder, you're going to come and make the paper come upward. This way, you know you're going to have a good straight fold. Okay, and then the other thing that we have to do is that right here we need to cut, because if not, when you go to fold, you're going to end up having way too much stuff right there, and we don't want that. So we do need to make like a little V cut here, okay? This will help so that we don't have bulking. Okay, we want to make sure we don't have bulking of any type of paper for that matter. So I have where I folded, and I am cutting up to the fold line. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna start with that middle one. And as always, make sure that we're right up against the edge and that we're pulling everything nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the bottom halves. Okay, pull it up, make sure that we are getting it nice and tight, and folding. So this is a good basic journal cover right here. Okay, so this is your basic or standard journal, album, whatever you want to call it. In this case, it's going to be a memory album because, you know, it's a place for my friend to keep a track of, you know, the baby's first year and everything else. You just learned something new? Well, learning is always a good thing. What did you learn new, my friend? Okay, and again, pushing it up. So yeah, so I'm hoping that this will be, you know, that first year album that we all crave. I did, ironically, I actually did scrapbook and made the pages and everything for my first son, for my oldest. Did everything on the computer too, back when you still had to use, you know, programs like PowerPoint and Word and things like that. Did not know it was called scrapbooking or journaling or anything of that nature. I just, none of the, I couldn't get an album that would be in English because of where we lived. So I made one. So who knew that as early as 17 I was already doing this. My daughter still gets kind of like upset because her brother technically has like 3 albums, and then my middle son has 1, and she really never got one. So she's like, how is it that the boys got something and I didn't? And I'm like, girl, 1, we were here, and 2, by the time you were born. That was a whole nother thing. That was a whole nother thing. Alright, so I'm going to, again, bring up my sides, make sure that I have them all the way up to the edge. and start gluing. Welcome in, everybody. If you are just joining, I am in an event today with Cindy's Craft Sensation Community Events, and it is Crafters in Bloom, but we are focusing on showcasing the items or our style of journaling or crafting or sewing or whatever it is that you like to do. And so I figured that what better time, because I get asked a lot about how do you start building a journal, and I was like, well, I gotta do this, so we might as well do it together. Alright, so again, thank you so very much to Miss Cindy and Miss Teri for having me. It is an honor to be in y'all's group, so thank you very, very, very much. There's my sweet Carla. Hey dear, how are you? I thought you were up after me, but I guess I had that wrong. I was like, yay, we're in an event together. How's my Cajun queen doing today? It is beautiful to see a variety of crafting, because you know what? That's the thing about it. It's like everyone does something different. So, you know, we each enjoy doing different things, and even if we are given, you know, the same theme, or we are given even the same materials to work with, we will do something different. Oh, yes, because that helps for the bulk. Oh my goodness, woman. What's going on? You didn't tell me something was going on. Naughty, naughty, you didn't tell me. How do I not know this? I hope everything is okay, though. I mean, blood work can be, you know, could be normal stuff or not so normal stuff. So, hopefully, it's the normal stuff. Just regular. They called you at work. Okay. Alright, well, hopefully it's nothing serious. You better keep me informed, dear. I'll be praying. We all will be praying that everything will come out okay. You know, I think the day that they finally tell me that something's wrong with my thyroid, I'm going to be shocked. Because I've asked for so long if something's wrong with my thyroid, and they keep on telling me that my thyroid is perfect. And I'm like, no, something is wrong with my thyroid. So, alright, so now, if you see, when I go to close it, I don't have much bulk, which is good because we still have to cover the inside, right? And so this is the base of my journal, okay? Yes, I still have to cover the inside, and we still have to cover the outside, okay? But this is our starting base right here, okay? This is what we are starting with. So you may say, what are you going to do, right, for the rest? Well, this is where you, I'll probably put like a really pretty paper on the inside that'll match the pages that I'm going to have. On the outside, I have these old, this is like an old sheet fabric or something that I got. And it's just absolutely the cutest thing ever. Why is this thing backwards? Oh my gosh, now I gotta unfold it. Y'all give me a second. This thing is folded backwards. Or inside out, you know what I mean. Okay, so this is what I have. So this one here says, the circus is coming. But it's got all these cute, adorable little animals on it. And then I have the matching one with just the animals. So I am not 100% sure which one I want to use. What do y'all think? Should we use just the animals, or should we use this one that says the circus is coming? Which one do you guys think would look good for the cover? I'm either one I'm fine with, because either one has the colors and all the things. Hey, Miss Stephanie, how are you, sweet friend? It's been a while. Thank you for popping in and for sprinkling out. So like I said, I love the animals. So this one is super cute. That one I think is adorable. I just like the idea of the, you know, the circus is coming to town. I just think that's super cute. But either one would work for this journal. You know, because it is a baby journal. The animals are adorable. I think it would look really cute. Yes, I have been doing well. How have you been, Miss Stephanie? It's been a while since I've seen you or even been able to catch you live. Because we could even put this on the inside if I wanted to, but we shall see. So Miss Carla says the circus. Miss Julie says the circus. Okay, so we're gonna go with the circus. And like I said, I have plenty of it. Alright. So I am going to give myself, it is a baby journal. This is it's going to be a gift to my friend for her baby shower. Hello there, Stephanie. Well, welcome in, newbie. I hope that you like what you see and you'll give me a like and a follow and come and hang out with us. Even Miss Grace likes the circus. I think that's a cute one. I think it really, you know, like I said, the colors are going to go, so I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fun. And plus, it's very probable that my friend would get a kick out of that. She's very sarcastic, and we're hilarious and laugh and all that. So I think she would probably find it funny. Because, I mean, you know, the circus does come to town when a baby comes. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It is her first kiddo. But she has helped raise her niece, so it's not like she, you know, not really been there or done that. Alright, so first things first, we need to iron this little baby. I know, I love the sound of ripping. Oh my gosh, it is amazing. See, Grace, Miss Jeannie, all of y'all are saying, let's do the circus. Okay, now I just saw this the other day, and I don't know where it is, but okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to iron this a little bit just to help a tad bit here. Now I'm not going to glue this on just yet because there is some stuff that I want to do it. I know the ripping sound is amazing. It's just like, it's like very satisfying, right? It's just got this really satisfying sound. So we're just going to try to iron a little bit of the wrinkles out, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to do, I'm going to actually be doing some stitching to this. So one of the things that I love to do with fabrics is to do something that's called slow stitch. And it kind of gives the album cover or the material, it kind of helps to give it like this quilted look, even though it's not quilted. Okay, so that is what we're going to be doing. Alright, so I just need to give it one more cut so that I can kind of stay in a realm. Okay, perfect. So this is more than enough, and that is fine. What I'm going to do, thank you. So what I am going to do, and what we do when you're slow stitching, what you're doing is you're essentially, you're going to accentuate your fabric, okay? That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be accentuating your fabric. So, oh, that still needs some ironing, goodness gracious. I thought the back side looked good, but no, it's alright. What I am gonna do, since we're using this one and not the one with the larger animals, is I'm actually going to cut the larger animals to have them and make them essentially like an applique. Okay, so this fabric here that has the larger animals, we're going to cut them out and make them like appliques. Okay, if you didn't have like fabric like this, you can take the same fabric that you have and like you can come in and cut the little giraffe out, and you can layer the giraffe on top with a little bit of felt in between, so it gives it kind of like a little bit of cushion, and again helps you with that. But since I do have this one and the animals are a little bit larger, I'm going to use this one for the appliques. And then there's this one here that's the matching one, and I'm going to use this one almost to make like a border for the front cover by stitching pieces of it going around. Okay. Now you both are watching. Well, hello, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to cut out some of these cute, adorable little animals, and we're going to turn these into appliques. Alright, and like I said, I know that this is not going to get done in this time frame, and that is fine. Tomorrow when I'm on in my event, we'll work some more on this, because it will take a little bit, especially for what I want to do, like with the cover and all of those things, right? So there's some, you know, there's a few things that need to kind of happen, right? So it's gonna take a bit to do that. But I do want to bring you along for the process so that y'all can see, hopefully be inspired, you know, create your own. Now I'm just doing a rough trim, okay? And I'll show you guys why I'm doing a rough trim here in a bit. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do hope that it will be really pretty. Like I said, because being that this is her first kiddo and everything else, I know they have like a baby registry and everything, but I really wanted to give her something personalized. My sister, who's also pregnant right now, wait a second, there's the giraffe there. Where did my elephant go to? Didn't I cut an elephant out? He snuck away. She already had asked if I was going to make anything handmade for the baby. I was like, yeah, of course I am. I'm like, you better believe it. So she's already been bragging that she's gonna get something handmade for me. I'm like, you're something else. They're so funny. Okay. So embroidery thread does tend to work the best for this because you are essentially embroidering, okay? And let me get this over here. So I'm going to use the green for the green. And this here is stranded cotton. And I just like because it does kind of do like an ombre effect. So I think it's going to be really cool. Alright. Let me... Now the one thing with embroidery thread or a thick or stranded thread like this one is to get it through your regular needle is going to be really hard. You'll end up having to pull apart and use less of the strands to be able to get it through the needle, the eye of the needle, but at the same time, you know, so like this one has 6 strands, so I'm going to use half of that. I'm going to take 3 strands, alright, and I'm going to pull the 3 strands, 3, not 4, and we're going to pull it apart. If it will not get... Oh, I see what happened. It got all caught up. Wonderful. It usually helps if you have a third hand, which none of us do, so I do tend to like use whatever I can, and in that case it was my mouth. Alright, so now I'm gonna thread like I would normally thread if I'm sewing. Okay, now that we have brought it down to just 3 strands versus the 6, it'll be easier. It's still gonna give me that very hefty embroidery look to it. Okay, and the other thing is I do not tie it like I would normally do if I was going to as if I was going to sew, okay? So almost like if we were doing our book, right? One end short, the other end long, all right? And then, oh, I need to grab my felt. Give me a second, y'all. It really doesn't matter what color felt you have. If you know, because you're just gonna cut it down. Okay, so this is gonna become my backing, and this is very relaxing. You can do this as you are sitting down and watching, watching TV or something. At least I think it's relaxing. Okay, so I'm going to pull through, making sure not to pull all the way through. So just like when we are sewing, just like when we're sewing our books, make sure that you hold on to that extra little piece. And then we're just going to go up and down, in and out. And like I said, this is super fun to do. Now I'm just using a regular stitch for this. I'll probably end up, if I want to, I could come back and do a back stitch, which means that I will cover the gaps, but I'll see. I'll see how I feel like when it gets done. So if you have felt laying around and you have a piece of fabric that has, a really cute flower on it, you can edge it like this, and then we come back with our scissors and we're going to cut around it. Okay, and then you can either glue this, or, which is probably what I'll end up doing, is the gaps that I have, that'll be where I will stitch it to this fabric. So you could even do 2 different colors of stitches if you wanted to. And the only reason why I'm not doing this straight here is because I want this to be a little applique, and I want to see where I'm going to place it and play around with the placement of the animals once I have everything on my journal. Okay, so if you ever think that you don't sew if you journal, that's not true. You can sew. You can sew paper too. You can hand stitch paper, or you can use your sewing machine. Either one works. You can do either or. And then it's just super cute. So this is fun. Like, sit back and have your favorite show on. You could be watching some crafters or some replays and just playing with your stitching. There's a bunch of different types of stitches that you can do, like decorative ones. But right now I just want, just a basic stitch for my applique. like I said, because what I plan to do is come back and I'll go when I finally decide where they're getting placed. That is when I will finish to sew them in. But putting the felt kind of gives them that little puffy feel to them. If you want it to be really puffy, you can totally add some stuffing in between and make it, you know, make it really nice and puffy and have all the feels to it. So I'm curious if anybody has ever done slow stitch like this. I know that some people have done. I've never personally been really big on embroidering, but I do like to do this because to me this is like we're doodling with our thread. Because like over here, like you could totally write out the letters with your thread, like going over it. You could do the outlines on the animals, you know, or like put a stitch going through where the line, you know, the lines are. Like there's a lot of cute little things that you can do to accentuate your fabric and make it look really cute. So doodling with thread is fun. And like I said, you can do it on paper, you can do it obviously with fabric. There's just a lot of things that you can do this with. And I like to incorporate it with my journals. And I thought that especially for a baby journal, this would be really cute to do. Because it would give, you know, like that volume, texture, and things of that nature. So again, I want to thank Miss Cindy and Miss Teri for hosting today's event and for having me. I really do appreciate it. If you are not following their group, the link is in my description for Cindy's Craft Sensation Community Events. Make sure that you go follow it. It is a free group where you can see all of today's presenters. You have done embroidery and appliques. You know, the closest thing I ever got to doing was cross stitch. That was the closest thing that I ever got to doing was cross stitch. That was the one needle thing, needle art, and I'm not, because I'm obviously mending and stuff like that, not necessarily art, but that's the one needle art that I actually did grasp that my grandma tried to teach me, because she tried to teach me to knit and crochet, and yeah, no, never really got that. And like I said, as far as embroidering, like I never really got really good with like doing the flowers and things of that nature, but it was a super fun and very calming pastime. Like, I get that some people read. I fall asleep if I read. Just being honest. Like, I can't. I fall asleep. And nothing against the authors or anything. Nope. The only thing that ever has kept me awake is a textbook, and even that sometimes was a struggle. But needlework, because I guess because my hands are working and I'm thinking, I can definitely do this. I can do this and sit down and be quiet. So it's a great way to calm down at the end of the day. you know, or after a long day or stressful moments. I think this is very helpful for those kinds of things. Thank you, Miss Teri, for having me. I appreciate it. And like I said, hopefully you guys will come back and continue to watch the journey of this album, as this, like I said, is going to take a little bit of its time to do, but I definitely wanted to do to start it and hopefully inspire you guys, maybe show you something new, something you didn't know, you know, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to have fun together, learn from each other, enjoy all that life has to give us. And this is not good. The fabric was folded. Okay, so time for a little surgery. Did I get it? Maybe. Ah, thank you. Yes, it will be. It will definitely be worth all the time. Yeah. See, and like I said, I have to get hers done first because she has her baby shower coming up in May. And my sister, we have a little bit more time, 'cause I still think I'll probably make a quick trip to visit her in August, at the end of August. So I'll take it with me and give it to her myself. So that'll be good. But you guys, let's go watch Miss Michelle. So make sure that you are in the free group so that you can catch everybody and not miss out on any of the lives. And yeah, I mean, this is gonna be so much fun to work together, and I'm glad that I get to share it with you guys and that you guys get to come along for the journey with us. So thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday afternoon, guys. So thank you so much for being here. I love you guys.